You're watching 13 News, Kansas News Leader.
An eyewitness captured the first moments when an attempt to capture a suspect turned deadly. Tonight, we know several officers are wounded, a hotel is burned down, and someone was found dead. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Melissa Bruner. The FBI has now taken over the investigation into just what unfolded overnight in South Topeka. Their agents and local authorities spent the day scouring the area around Southwest 37th and Topeka Boulevard for evidence. They say the search for a fugitive led to gunfire last night and a blaze that destroyed the Country Club Motel. We have team coverage today at 5:30, starting with 13's Carrie Larson. Carrie, you were there overnight. A lot of speculation on who was believed to be inside that motel room. What are authorities saying tonight?
Melissa, we can now confirm federal officers received information to search here at the Country Club Motel right behind me for 28-year-old Orlando Collins, who is wanted on a federal arrest warrant. We know that 3 federal officers were shot, but we're told they're all in stable condition. Authorities also say they found a body in the room from where Collins was shooting.
431, we got shots fired.
Gunshots rang out at the Country Club Motel Saturday night. The FBI says the United States Marshals Service Fugitive Task Force exchanged fire with 28-year-old Orlando Collins. 13 News received police scanner traffic as dispatch spoke with officers on the scene.
Coming northbound, he's shooting to the north. Don't come in from the north.
According to a news release from the FBI, Collins was wanted on a federal arrest warrant, and the task force received information he might be at the Country Club Motel on South Topeka Boulevard. The FBI says as officers approached the hotel room door, a person inside started firing. As they called for backup, scanner traffic identifies who they believe was pulling the trigger.
On the units en route, the suspect is Orlando Collins, 1067. He has already fired several times north, and we have possible officers that were hit.
Topeka Police and Shawnee County Sheriff's deputies blocked off the area and evacuated local restaurants and businesses as the shooting continued.
I need people to shut down 37th in Topeka, and he's shooting right towards Burger King.
The FBI confirms 3 federal officers were injured, 2 deputy United States Marshals and 1 FBI agent. Their injuries were not considered life-threatening. Soon after the shooting, the Country Club Motel erupted in flames. Fire crews spent most of the night and into the morning extinguishing the fire. Sunday morning, the FBI said a body was found inside room 29 where they believe Collins was shooting. At this point, they have not officially confirmed if the dead person is Collins. Topeka Fire Marshal Mike Martin told me last night that the building here, the motel, is a complete loss from the fire, and they still haven't come out with any details of how the fire started. We do know that the people who are staying here have been displaced, but the American Red Cross is helping them at this moment. And Melissa, FBI spokesperson Bridget Patton told me that they're not doing any interviews with media at this point in time as the incident is still in the early stages of investigation.
Carrie, thank you, and we will continue to be following up with them. 5 families displaced and receiving assistance from the Red Cross. As Carrie mentioned, the U.S. Marshals Task Force was at the Country Club Motel to arrest Orlando Collins. They had a federal arrest warrant for the 28-year-old on 2 counts of interference with commerce by means of robbery. Topeka police had called him a person of interest in at least 3 local holdups. The most recent happened just Friday afternoon. This surveillance video shows a man police believe was Collins coming into the smoke shop near 37th and South Kansas. You see he's carrying a sawed-off shotgun. He gets cash from the worker and takes off. Police say he then stole the clerk's car. It was found 20 minutes later on fire. Back on April 4th, police believe Collins held up the Brookwood Dillon store at gunpoint, plus the Quick Shop at 37th and Humboldt, not far from that smoke shop, within a half hour of each other. Police say a vehicle found on fire at a car wash the next night was linked to those 2 armed robberies. The situation was especially frightening last night for people who work at some of the businesses around the motel. Police warned them that they could be in the crossfire. 13's Reagan Porter continues our team coverage. Reagan, you spoke to some of those workers today. A little too close for comfort.
Melissa, I talked to employees of businesses surrounding the Country Club Motel who heard those gunshots last night. One woman was just across the street working what she thought would be just another normal night at Sonic. Tara Cross works as a Sonic car hop right across the street from Country Club Motel and heard the gunshots ring out Saturday night.
The cops were at the back door and they told us to all get down and basically escorted us out, and we had to leave our cars, just leave everything and just go.
Cross said she was a little panicked listening for gunshots, but stayed surprisingly calm among coworkers who weren't saying much either. Just around the corner at the Blind Tiger, Topeka police officers and gunshots are also what caught Dakota Terrell's attention.
Just told by the Topeka Police Department that we need to leave the building. As soon as I came outside to lock up this gate right here, started hearing gunshots happening over here in the woods right there and over the motel.
I was a little panicked trying to listen for gunshots because it was a lot of gunshots. It wasn't just your typical, if you hear gunshots, it's a few. It was a lot of gunshots. It was kind of crazy. It was like Grand Theft Auto, really.
Like Cross, Terrell said he stayed calm, cool, and collected. He was just worried about everyone else.
I knew I just shouldn't panic for everybody's sake. Didn't want to start anything. A lot of people were really quiet. Some people were just kind of in the corner, not knowing what to do or what the situation was.
Head chef of Larry's Shortstop, Nicholas Duncan, said he was scared because he had everything to lose.
I'm freaking out. I'm from Louisiana. I've never been through anything like this before. I have 3 children. So, the first thing in my mind is, are my children okay?
Although Duncan said he's still a little shaken up, Melissa, he and all the other employees I talked to said they're back to business as usual.
A little on edge, I'm sure. Reagan Porter live for us. Thank you so very much. By the way, tonight on our news at 10, you will hear from the woman who captured that video you saw at the very beginning of our newscast as those first shots were fired. Another big story we are following today is the weather. It is spring in Kansas and severe storms are firing up around our area. Let's go to Jeremy Goodwin with the latest on this. Jeremy?
Hi, Melissa. Tracking some dangerous weather that's moving into Saline County right now. A confirmed tornado just a few minutes ago in western Saline County, and a tornado watch for all of northeast Kansas going until 11 p.m. Here's a look at that tornado watch. Everybody in yellow included until 11 p.m. with the risk of seeing large hail, damaging winds, and even tornadoes are a potential through the evening hours. Here's the latest on our Capitol Federal live storm tracker. I'll zoom in on the actual tornado warning itself that's in Saline County at this time, and you can see that that goes until 6 p.m. for the tornado warning part of this. The actual tornado would be right here, very close to I-70 between Glendale and Headville, and it is moving northeast at 30 miles per hour toward towns like Shipton and Culver. And then to the north, we also have very strong storms, even severe in Jewell and Mitchell counties. That is moving toward Belleville and could clip the northwest parts of Cloud County. So as we zoom back out, you'll see a smaller line of rain moving from Holton down to Council Grove at this time. That batch is not severe, but the storms farther to the west could remain severe and even produce tornadoes even a couple of hours after sunset this evening. So this should calm down around midnight, but another wave of severe storms is likely on Tuesday. We'll talk more about both of these threats coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Jeremy, thanks so much. Kansas lawmakers face projected budget caps totaling more than $290 million when they return to work this week. The session resumes Wednesday. Last week, a new fiscal forecast for the state slashed projected tax collections by $348 million through June of 2017. The state constitution does not allow budget deficits. Republican leaders hope they can reach agreement on how to address the issue and adjourn in less than a week. Governor Brownback has suggested taking money from highway projects and higher education, as well as tobacco settlement money that's usually geared toward children's programs. 5 primaries pop up this week just as the top 2 candidates are separating themselves from the pack. But as Brian Webb reports, a big money backer with Kansas ties is shaking up the chatter.
Some people waited 7 hours today to hear Donald Trump speak in Hagerstown, Maryland. But did he sound more presidential like the campaign is promising?
I'm self-funding my campaign, folks. Nobody controls me.
A CBS News tracker poll shows Trump with large leads in big primary states like Pennsylvania. He is the only Republican candidate who can win the nomination before the July convention. Ted Cruz has already moved on to Indiana, and its primary May 3rd.
65 to 70% of Republicans nationwide recognize that Donald Trump is not the best candidate to go head-to-head with Hillary Clinton.
Republican donor, billionaire Charles Koch rocked the party today, suggesting Democrat Hillary Clinton might make a better president than any of the Republicans in the race.
And you're terrible role models. So I don't know how we could support them.
But we have to do something more.
Clinton stopped off at Baptist churches in Philadelphia Sunday morning, well on her way to the Democratic nomination. But don't tell that to Bernie Sanders, who is still challenging her on the issues.
Join me and impose a tax on carbon.
John Kasich made the rounds on Sunday morning talk shows, saying he is the only Republican who can win the White House.
Delaware, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and Maryland all hold primaries this Tuesday. Old and unused medicines sitting in your home can be a prescription for abuse and danger. The Drug Enforcement Administration and law enforcement officers nationwide are helping you safely get rid of them this Saturday for National Drug Take-Back Day. You can bring unused prescription drugs to participating locations from 10 to 2 Saturday. Locations in the Topeka area include the Topeka Police Department, Deer Creek Community Center, and the Mission and Soldier Township Fire Departments. You can find a link to a complete list of locations at WIBW.com. The DEA can only accept pills and patches, no liquids or needles. Last year, Americans turned over more than 720,000 pounds of pills to the DEA. Also next Saturday, the city of Topeka is hosting an e-cycle event. It's from 9 to 1 in the parking lot at 400 Southeast 8th Street. That's the intersection at Madison. You can drop off your old computers, keyboards, monitors, printers, phones, gaming consoles, and more for free. However, televisions smaller than 27 inches will cost $20. Those larger than 27 inches are $40. A visit to the doctor's office was all about fun today. Stormontvale showed off its new facility, the Cotton O'Neill Kanza Park building. Doctors and nurses and other staff gave tours, plus visitors could enjoy face painting and free ice cream. The second floor of the new building houses Cotton O'Neill Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, with occupational and physical therapy services on the first floor and Stormont's single-day surgery on the lower level.
It gets to show that we are part of the community. It's nice to be able to show off what the community has given us, and we get to share that with everybody.
Stormont officially opened the building in January. The Royals try to end the weekend with another win. We'll say how they did later on in sports tonight, but first, tributes continue to pour in for Prince. See how people are remembering the music icon next.
You're watching 13 News, Kansas News Leader.
Tributes for the pop icon Prince were on full display today. Omar Villafranca shows us what's happening outside Prince's Paisley Park estate in Minnesota.
The bells at Minneapolis City Hall didn't ring, they rocked. Prince's hometown honored the mega superstar's purple reign in the music industry by playing a few of his hits from the bell tower, like Kiss and 1999. Outside his Paisley Park estate, thousands of fans flocked to pay their final respects to Prince with purple balloons, flowers, and even a guitar. Fans from all over the country still can't believe he's gone.
I really believe in my life I would never meet and love another artist like I have loved Prince.
It hit me really hard the first day. I sobbed at the back of work and then came home and sobbed. I'm finally able to kind of compose myself, but it still just doesn't feel real at all.
The tributes to Prince continue to pour in, showing how influential the pop icon was across the world. The Minnesota Wild honored their state's favorite son, putting his famous symbol in the stands and pausing for a moment of silence with his picture on the Jumbotron before their hockey game. In uptown Minneapolis, a purple-faced mural of Prince and a dove commemorated his death. A public musical celebration of Prince's life is being planned.
And among immediate family, Prince is survived by his sister. That warm wind is blowing in a chance of severe storms. Some of you may already be seeing them. You'll find out what it looks like for the rest of the night in Jeremy's forecast next.
This is your 13 weather forecast with Jeremy Goodwin.
We have a tornado watch until 11 p.m. for almost all of northeast Kansas. Potential for seeing large hail damaging winds and even tornadoes for the next several hours. Well after the sun goes down, as a matter of fact. Every county here in the yellow is included in the tornado watch. It does not go to Lawrence or Kansas City or Garnett, but the vast majority of northeast Kansas is included in this tornado watch, and we have seen a couple of confirmed tornadoes with this. One near Salina at this point. Also saw a couple of touchdowns near Ellsworth within the last hour, and that storm is making its way east and northeast and could affect areas across Dickinson and Clay County over the next several hours. The storm system continues making its way through. Here's the latest look at the Capitol Federal Live Storm Tracker, and the nastiest storm we have is this one right here in the northwest parts of Saline County. That is the tornado warning, the white box we have drawn on here, very close to Salina at this time. See a well-defined hook echo right there, staying south of Bennington with the rotation. But this area of darker purple right here is where the bigger hail is at this time. So while we're looking at the rotation and the potential tornado very close to Salina, folks in the Bennington area, even up to Minneapolis, may be dealing with hail larger than golf balls with the storm, putting it back into motion. You can see that's going to make its way very close to I-70 and then cutting across the northern sections of Dickinson County and the southern parts of Clay County, likely getting the stronger part of this. So zooming out a little bit here, you can see Clay Center and Wakefield, Abilene, Junction City, Manhattan. You should all be prepared just in case that storm continues moving your direction. And it does look like it will make its way east-northeast at 30 miles per hour and continue to stay very strong the next several hours. So if you're in these areas, Clay Center, Wakefield, heads up, this thing is coming in that direction. To the north, also a severe storm in the eastern part of Jewell County, moving toward the Belleville area. This has the capability of hail the size of golf balls, so a strong storm there as well. Want to look from Clay Center, you can see the mammatus clouds with that severe storm that's close by, not in Clay County yet, but the storm is so big you can see the some of the mammatus clouds going overhead with this. But in Clay County, again, this is awfully close to you. I would encourage you to be ready in case we see a tornado warning issued for anything. Dickinson, Clay, Cloud, Ottawa counties certainly very close to this and should be ready just in case we were to see any tornado warnings. Here's Supercast showing the staying strong and even severe through 11 o'clock, maybe even midnight. And then after that, the storm starts to calm down. But between now and even a couple of hours after sunset, many times we see storms start to fizzle at sunset. In this situation, I think this will stay strong or maybe even intensify a little right around sunset due to a strong low-level jet stream setting up just ahead of this line of storms. Now looking ahead to Tuesday, we're going to see another severe weather risk in the area. This one looks to be particularly nasty with a lot of energy in the atmosphere and could be a severe weather outbreak situation across the area. So Tuesday, tomorrow's fine, but Tuesday could be a dangerous day across the Midwest. Anything from 3 p.m. until about midnight Tuesday, those storms could be strong and will have potential for tornadoes on Tuesday as well. I want to show you the Storm Prediction Center risk. That is the outlook for Tuesday with many of us in an enhanced risk, and that's 3 days out. So you don't see that very often, but the National Weather Service thinking we're going to see an outbreak across the Midwest. 8-day forecast looks beautiful tomorrow, and then severe weather Tuesday. And again, the tornado watch today goes until 11 p.m.
So something to keep an eye on and be aware of, especially in other areas, as Jeremy said, to the west of Topeka. So K-State's offense looked pretty good in yesterday's spring game. You'll hear if that's enough to instill some confidence in Coach Snyder coming up. Plus, the Royals look to end their homestand with a win. Find out how one inning changed the game next.
13 Sports with Jonathan Deutsch.
Hello, everybody. The Royals took 2 out of 3 from the Detroit Tigers earlier in the week. 2 claps for them. But taking 2 out of 3 from first place Baltimore, that's a little bit more impressive. They've split the first 2 of this series. We'll pick this one up in the 4th inning. Royals down a run with Alex Gordon at the plate. Gordo going oppo. And Gonzo, this one off the top of the wall. It's a home run, his 2nd of the year. Tie ball game. Same score in the 6th inning now. Eric Hosmer following the footsteps of Alex Gordon. He gets a hanger over the middle. He doesn't miss it. A line shot home run to right. That extends his hitting streak to 14 games just like that. The Royals are up 2-1. Oh, I'm sorry, Mike Wright. It's only going to get worse. Bottom 7, Gordon running on the pitch. Christian Colon smacks one into the left field corner. Here comes Gordo, huffing and puffing all the way from first to score. The floodgates are officially opened in the 7th inning. 2 batters later, Drew Butera at the plate. He puts one in the right center field gap draw. Dyson, he'll come in and score easily from first. Salvi in the dugout. He's celebrating. He wants a little hair flip there, and the Drew abides. Nice little Hair flip there. Oh, that's a beautiful head of hair. Royals score 4 in the 7th. They win it 6-1. Here's this week's schedule for the Royals. A lot of late nights for fans here around the area. The Royals hopped on a plane to go west for a 3-game set with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. After a day off on Thursday, the Royals will play 3 with Seattle before returning home next week. Staying on the diamond, the Hornets and Ichabods were in action today. Emporia State falls 4-2. They've now lost 3 of their last 4. The Ichabods doing the exact opposite, probably the hottest team in the entire world right now. Today's win gives them 8 straight. They win it 20-4. Turnpike tussle in Emporia coming up on Wednesday night. The Kansas State Wildcats offense made their presence felt in yesterday's spring game. The Cats thrived in the passing game, throwing for 582 yards and 3 touchdowns. Joe Huebner led the way, completing 21 of 25 passes for 319 yards. On the receiving end, Byron Pringle brought down 9 passes for 163 yards and a touchdown. So how confident is Bill Snyder in his team's ability to move the ball and score points?
Well, I don't know if it increased my confidence. It allowed me to feel pretty much the same as I have virtually most of the spring, and that I feel like we have the capabilities. I felt like that earlier, and but it's a matter of going out and proving it. The day was was a positive thing for the most part, but we put some balls on the ground. We went up and contested. I like that. We went up and contested for thrown balls, but nevertheless, there's a bunch of them that we could have brought down.
Kansas State starts the season Friday, September 2nd against Stanford. Don't go anywhere. More 13 News coming up right after the break.
You're watching 13 News, Kansas News Leader.
Keeping an eye on that potential for severe weather. How many of us have to be concerned this evening?
Everybody should be on the lookout. We have a tornado warning in Saline County going for 2 more minutes, but that will probably extend over into Dickinson County shortly. Zooming out across all of northeast Kansas, you'll see everybody in the yellow is under the tornado watch going until 11 p.m. And then, so calm down tonight, late, and then another severe weather situation likely on Tuesday.
We're keeping an eye on all of that as the evening unfolds. Stay tuned for 60 Minutes with a look at America's heroin epidemic. We'll see you at 10.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports at WIBW.com or follow WIBW on Twitter, Facebook, and our mobile app. Thank you for making 13 News the most watched weekend news show.